So far we've covered, you can set up your very first tier structure of the hardware to communicate with the software via the device list, and then you can apply certain settings through device setting to further configure your hardware according to exactly what you have on your microscope. And then we can move on to, you can consider this as the third tier of control of the microscope, which is device customization. Again, you can find it under the start page, or you can directly find it in the acquire device and device customization. If you open this one, you can see this a couple of panels on the top. The tab is observation method, touch panel, which is usually comes with a fully motorized microscope. You have a touch panel control, TPC, or the soft key, which is you can make a soft key onto the tab here. You can directly click on it to control certain functions. Let's go through the one by one. So for the observation method, you can establish a new one, or you can delete one. You can rename them however you want to name them. You can copy it into another one if you want to make a minor change or modify existing observation method. You can copy one and just make a small changes. You can get the settings from a microscope. If you already set up your microscope in a working condition, you know this is going to work for a certain observation method. For example, for the bright field observation, you can just directly get the setting. They'll tell the software what exactly the microscope set up to, like which cubes in it, what is the light pathway, and you can just get it. Apply settings to the microscope is the other way around. You can selectively predefine. This is some predefined observation method here, which is you can select. This is some of the observation method we set up here for this microscope. Let's just choose one to modify it so I can show you what you can change here. So I named it as the BF for bright field, and you can choose a group, which is I didn't really do that. You can choose different type, so it's a bright field. You have a couple options here, and then you can just say go through one for the fluorochromes. Because the bright field, clearly we're not using it, so status will not use it. Camera, you can integrate the camera into the observation method, just in case you have more than one camera, or you have a dual chip camera with the color chip and the monochrome chip, and you can choose here to specific for the bright field observation which one you want to use. If you choose use, you can either say the image type, I want it to be 12-bit or 16-bit, you can change it here. And then you can choose a nose piece. You can choose not change, it means just whatever nose piece you choose manually up there, it will be used for the imaging when you click on the observation method. If you choose adjust, it will adjust according to the nose piece you give it to them. Mirror turret, again, you can choose not change, so you're locked into one position of the mirror turret, not really moving. If you have a motorized system, it doesn't make sense, because sometimes you change it into other position. When you click on this observation method of the bright field, it didn't really swing back to the empty position, and then you have a colorful view because of the mirror cube. So you should make it adjust, and you can choose one where you want it to be. Currently all the turret is occupied. Usually for bright field observation you should leave one for blank, so it's a free. You can choose a free. For now we just choose the first one. Again, you can choose the light spot changers either through eyepieces or camera or 50-50. For the reflector shutter, you can choose to close. Clearly, bright field is a transmitted observation method, so you don't want the reflective shutter to open at all. So you can choose close. You can choose not change, so it's always close. For the lamp, you can adjust the voltage. See, what voltage you want to use for this observation method. And for the condenser, again, you have an option to choose a free, or if you remember, if you set up some of the DIC prism or the phase contrast ring in the condenser, it will pop up here. For bright field observation, you should choose the one without any of the prism in the light path. And then for the aperture stop, you can adjust into the right amount of aperture. And the polarizer, you should leave it out if you choose in. For example, if you have another observation method, the polarizing observation method, you can choose it in. So next time when you click on the polarized observation method, the polarizer will automatically swing in. And transmitted shutter, you can choose either not change, so it remain unchanged, or adjust. That's when you click it, you can either choose open or close, depends on your demand. And also you can choose a useful acquisition. So if you choose this one, the shutter only close and open when you do an image acquisition. You have to manually open and close it when you try to observe or examine your sample through the eyepieces. Just by simply click on the observation method, won't open the shutter. This just have an advantage when you do fluorescent microscopy, because it prevents the prolonged exposure of your sample to the excitation light. It prevents your sample from photo bleaching. But for bright field, you can choose adjust, just open. So when you click on the observation method, the shutter will be open. Okay, once you finish it, you can click OK. And yes, you want to apply to the tab bar. So you can have a small icon of the observation method lined up here in the toolbar. Once you click on the bright field, it will command the microscope to open the shutter to apply the setting to the microscope, so you can actually use it. We'll just close it now.